Hey guys, here we are on the Virtual Racing School website, and I'm comparing my average lap time versus Dom, my teammate, during the 12 hours of Sebring. So you can see our lap times were 147.75 and 147.84, so I'm a bit faster, but I really want to show the difference in our techniques around the track, as I felt that I noticed my tire wear was significantly higher than his tire wear throughout the runs. So we're just going to analyze each sector here. As we go through turn one, I'm just going to play this at half speed, and we're both approaching the corner. He probably lets off a little bit earlier than I do, but then look at the brake pressure as we approach the corner. He's taking around 50% brake pressure and only around about 25%. I trail off a bit later than him. Looking at our apex speed, he's around 208. I'm around 214 kilometers. Then we're at the corner exit. Let's see what it is. I'm around 204 while he's around 208. So I seem to be maximizing the apex speed. He's really focusing on the exit speed, and the difference was I was about a tenth faster there. But the fact that I'm higher on apex speed, I'm really stressing the tires more while he's kind of slow in and fast out. Let's check that in turn 2 through 5 here. So again, we're going to go on half speed. We're already set through that. So we're just exiting turn 1 here, looking at the throttle inputs. And then we're both in acceleration, looking at who lets off first as we go into turn 2. I let off actually a bit earlier than he does. You can see he was actually going faster, 245, 237. Once he starts to let off, he starts to get a little slower. Again, his brake pressure around 75%. I'm only about 50% here, so he's slowing down much more heavily than I am. Into turn 2. Corner apex speed, I'm around 127, he's about 122. And then we're both upshift to second here, basically the same amount of throttle pressure. Then going into this next left-hander, again, he does about 25% brake pressure. I'm only around 10%. And looking at the apex of this corner, right around there, I'm 123, he's 118. And now let's check as we exit this corner, getting onto the straight, waiting for the dot to get near the end here. I was 5 kilometers faster, but as we get here, I'm 170, he's 169. So I made up basically all the time that he lost in the apex. Once again, I'm taking more apex speed, but he seems to be focusing on the exit speed compared to the apex. Now let's check turn 6 here. This is pretty flat, so it shouldn't really matter. Just checking. We're basically getting up to the hairpin here. Maybe a little difference in when he shifts. He seems to be shifting maybe a little later than I am, at least up to 5th. We can kind of just skip this area. Let's go into turn 7. So going to this hairpin here, looking at, I'm letting off earlier actually than he is. Let's see, I'm 264 here, and then he starts to let off, and again, brake pressure, 75% versus about 50%, and then he's trailing off around there, and then we eventually get to the hairpin here. I'm taking 84 versus 82.7. Checking later, he's maybe around 78, and now let's see what we get to the exit speed around here. So that's only about 1 kilometer difference, but again, the brake pressure, you can see he's doing more in a straight line as we get to the exit, 176 versus 175. So again, he gets a bit better than me, and he was about half a tenth faster through that hairpin. Checking turns 8 and 9. These are just pretty flat S's, I'd say. Maybe a little bit of a lift off here. Pretty similar gear shifts through here. I'm maybe shifting a bit earlier, maybe trying to save fuel on average during my average lap time. Now let's go to turn 10 and 11. So this is that, I would say, 90-degree hairpin. Once again, 75% brake pressure, or 70% versus like the 50 or 60 for me. Down to 4th, he maybe is downshifting a bit faster than I am, maybe helping the engine braking. And then let's check apex speed, 100 versus 108. So I'm really pushing the tires here. He gets back, and you can see the wheel rotation. I'm like 90 degrees this way versus only about like 70 degrees. So he's turning the wheel less. He's having a lower apex speed. And then through this next set of corners, getting back up to second, pretty similar for us. Then through this left-hand corner, and let's just see where the exit speed is through here. 199 versus 196. Once again, he's doing lower apex speed, but higher exit speed. Very consistently throughout the lap, we're basically the exact same, only 0.02 of a second difference. It's kind of intriguing how close this is, even though it's a completely different style. Going into this next corner, you can see the lines are way different. He's kind of bringing the car way over to the right-hand side of the track, while I'm staying over to the left-hand side. And then braking, once again, 50% versus around 30%. Let's see if I bring that up. Not really. He trails down a bit more than I do. Let's see the turn in. Again, look at the amount of turn he does at apex. I'm 124 versus 120, so I'm carrying 4 kilometers more. And look at that turning difference. I'm turning the car more. I'm putting more apex speed. I sound like a broken record. I realize that. Just want to show. It's really interesting to see this. I was I don't know how much faster I was through here. How can I cannot check. Let's see if I can check the full track here. Is there, oh, my bad, I could not find the corners. This is turn, so I was 1/100th faster maybe through there. This is basically a flat corner, turn 15 and 16. There we go. So this is a very technical part of the track. This is basically about a bunch of like left and rights through here. So this is normally like a triple downshift. Just looking again at that braking, we're entering both in sixth. Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. And there we go. 70 versus 50. Let's see the turning input into the corner. Actually very similar, maybe a little bit more for me. Apex speed 160 versus 153 or 154. And then you can see the wheels still turning a bit more. I'm getting a bit more aggressively back on the gas here. And then bring it back over to the left-hand side for this next right-hander. That was actually a very intriguing acceleration I did through here. You can see he kind of lets off. I'm still a bit later on the throttle through here. But then for this next corner, he's turning a bit earlier, it seems, on the wheel. 10 kilometers faster for me right now. And then as we get through, I'd say the apex is around here actually. Now he's 4 kilometers faster. So maybe I'm like more aggressive like before the apex and he's good on the apex. But this is like one of the longest straights on the track. Let's see what the speed is at the end right here. 186 versus 182. So he's already 4 kilometers faster. Let's see if we can get, I don't know why I'm having trouble with these sectors. Okay, sector 16, this should be the long straight. Let's just see what we get at the end of it. We're both full throttle here, just gonna skip further along. And as we get to the end, right before the braking zone, 269, 268. So I didn't lose too much time, but we did see early on. So here we go, this is the final 2 corners of the track. Let's see, there are a lot of different approaches here. It looks like he took a very narrow approach and I kind of stayed way wide out. So you can see he's letting off earlier than I am, I guess because he needs to take a shorter distance through here. And then again, brake pressure, 50% versus around 25%. Long brake pressure through here, and then he ends up kind of going wide, like diamonding the corner a bit. And I don't really know where apex is around here, maybe about here or so. If that's correct, I'm around 5 kilometers faster. Same turning input. Getting back on the throttle, I'm a little bit more aggressive, smaller bit of a more turning input throughout the whole corner. And then getting back the throttle, coming up to the finish line here, just near the end of the sector, and top speed about the same. So I feel this was, I know there's a lot of similar stories. You can kind of see all the brake pressures here, how much more pressure it is consistently, and you can see the throttle. You might get off the throttle a bit later than I am, but that's something that maybe could be useful. So the fact that I was really struggling with tires, he seems to have this focus on straight line braking hard initially, and then slow apex and focusing on a better exit, while I was normally focusing on just having a smooth, kind of really pushing the tires in the apex, sometimes giving up corner exit speed, but I feel that is noteworthy, and hopefully this video was insightful for you, and thanks for watching.